Hey everybody, welcome back to a special live edition of Guns and Gadgets here on YouTube and Facebook. We are live on both. I want to, before we get into the meat of this little interview here, I just want everybody to know that I am very grateful to have you each and every time I log on or see a comment. It really touches me to just know that you're out there and you actually find some value in this channel. So thank you very much. And my hope that this channel helps open eyes of people who might not have been aware of the constant attack that we're under here in the gun community, which brings us to where we are today. 2 days ago, I did a video regarding Oklahoma. It's actually a follow-up of the video I did in January, where there was a bill that was beautiful, and it was called the Anti-Red Flag Act of 2020. And we'll bring in Mr. Don Spencer here. He is the president of Oklahoma, the Oklahoma Second Amendment Association. Hey, Don, how you doing?
Good afternoon, sir. Doing well.
Thank you for your time. I know how busy you are right now, so thank you for carving out a little bit for my audience.
No problem at all.
All right. So let's start off for those who might not be aware of you or your agency. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, some history, and how you got into defending the Second Amendment, and then we'll talk about OK2A.
Sure. Well, the Oklahoma Second Amendment Association was founded in 2009 because the founder realized that there was a stopgap between what was happening at our own state capital in Oklahoma and what was going on across the country. Depending on entities 1,300 miles away, the national organizations just wasn't cutting it right here in our own backyard. And we realized something had to be done right here. So he founded the Oklahoma Second Amendment Association. I've been with the since 2010, and I became president in 2016. I got involved simply because I was wanting to take an armed security guard class at a vocational technical school, and it was a felony for me to leave my gun in the car while taking an armed security guard class. And I thought, man, this is just the dumbest stuff I have ever heard of. So I got involved just so we could fix that. And I was amazed at my first time involved in politics like this. I mean, I've always voted, but to actually get involved, how much effort it is to take to kill your constitutional rights and not even return them. So right. in the 10 years, OK2A, we've had over 130 positive changes in state law. And we've gone basically what used to be from 35 to 37th in the country in liberty with firearms to number 5, simply because we've got 9 felonies repealed for the peaceful ownership and carry of firearms, just like I just described. A felony for leaving your gun in the car while at school. I mean, come on. So we've gotten a lot of these repealed, and we're going to continue to move forward. And as last fall, I got a phone call from a state senator, Nathan Dom, and he said, Don, I've got an idea for a gun bill. I said, what's that? He goes, how about, they're doing all these red flag laws. He said, why don't we do one just the opposite? Let's do an anti-red flag law. I said, I'm in. I love it. I said, concept, we're all good. I said, am I developing a language for it? Have you got it? He goes, no, I'm going to let Senate staff do it. And then you can look at it and we'll go from there. I said, perfect. I like bills that I don't have to write the language for. That's good. And they came up with it. And it started off pretty strong with the penalties of being a felony if a law enforcement officer or any person violated a person's rights. And so that portion was pulled back. And let me explain why, because people think, oh, you guys are going soft. Well, not really, because here's the deal. Oklahoma has an incredibly strong state preemption, which means it's the same law in Tulsa, Oklahoma, as it is in Tishomingo, Oklahoma. Just so everyone knows, everyone's on the same playing field across the state. So in doing so, the state legislature interrupts and controls all gun laws, knife laws, everything across the state. And also in doing that, any person that violates your constitutional rights, you can sue them personally, along with the agency or municipality they're a part of. And it can go all the way up to the governor if he violates your rights. So it's incredibly broad. It's got big teeth in it, and because a violation of a right is a violation. It's not too difficult to separate that out at this point. So so there was a little bit of change in the introduced version, but what we got passed and final is on the governor's desk right now is a big deal. And we're real proud of it. I'm proud to be a part of it. In this year with the COVID virus, it almost killed this bill. In fact, it killed every other bill there was. This is the only thing we have on the governor's desk. And I think people can understand why, with so many financial shortfalls and issues coming up, that guns were not the first thing on their list, but we still managed to show how important this was. And like I say, and State Representative Jay Stegall carried the bill, got it passed with like 77 votes for it, and it's on the governor's desk. So
awesome, awesome.
There we are.
So before we go further into the bill and what we hope will happen here in the next day or two, hopefully, again, I want to thank the viewers here. We got a couple people to shout out. We got quite a few people who say they're from Oklahoma here. So you're talking to the masses out there in your state right now. I just want to thank real quick Corey Simino, who made a quick donation to the channel, as well as Jesse Meek, who says, thanks for staying on top of all the nonsense going on out there. Thank you, Jesse. And VRich3733. Thank you, guys and gals, so much. Thank you. This is not why I do it, but it does help go a long way here. But you have quite a few people here that are from Oklahoma watching, so I'm sure they want this information just as bad as I want to get it out with you. So for those who are watching who might not know, I don't know, maybe you live under a rock, the red flag that we're talking about, it's called a couple different things around the country, but it's still the same evil animal. It's the Extreme Risk Protection Order or the Gun Violence Prevention Order, but it's a red flag bill or law in some places like here in Massachusetts. What it does is it violates just about every one of your Bill of Rights, your freedom of speech, your right to against self-incrimination, your right to see your accuser, confront your accuser. They take away your constitutionally owned property without due process. So it violates your search and seizure, violates your Second Amendment because you lose it until you can prove yourself innocent. And most states don't even allow them to, you don't get your court-appointed attorney because, God forbid, you prove it wrong. It violates so much. And that's why I've been saying for over 2 years now, almost 3 years, because this is all funded by Michael Bloomberg. He's the one who put the money in all the states. This is the biggest threat to the Second Amendment we have ever seen in this country that wasn't on a boat with a red coat coming overseas. And I hope that people grasp just how dangerous this bill is. And what we're going to talk about today, I hope gets the folks out there to see beyond the, well, what about the kids type mentality that they often use to try to blindside the sheeple. So what do you guys in Oklahoma have anything similar to a law that the red flag needs? They always say it needs to be here because X. For instance, here in Massachusetts, we have laws on the books where if somebody is in a mental crisis, they can have people can have them see somebody, even if it's unfortunately against their will sometimes. If somebody's feeling suicidal, they can go see and talk to somebody. If somebody needs any type of help, the means are there. Just like here in Massachusetts and in most states, a restraining order for domestic violence often has the exact same protections that the red flag seeks to have, other than with restraining orders, you don't lose your rights for the rest of your life because of an allegation. Do you guys have similar laws like most states that are already in existence?
There are some of those that have taken place just as you have described, especially when it comes to VPOs. I've actually had people take I'm a CLEAT certified firearm instructor. They take my class so they can get a carry license, only to find out that an ex-wife 20 years ago had filed a VPO on them and they didn't know, and they can't get their handgun license. And they didn't know they weren't supposed to buy guns. Yes, those are on the books, and those are something we'll look at. But at this point, with this law or this bill that we're hoping the governor signs into law, we're drawing a red line. We're drawing a line in the sand. Okay, you're not crossing anymore here. So hopefully we can go back and reinstore some of those things, because like I say, we've heard this old saying, well, what if it saves one life? Well, we have the exact same saying here. What if people being able to keep their guns can save one life? And
Right.
so it's that important, besides the fact it's a constitutional right. Due process. It's just like the liberals have no clue that this even exists, and that they don't understand. Well, that guy scared me, or that guy's ex-military, and I saw him walk in his house with his gun when he, came back from the gun range. So I'm scared. So I saw him or heard him cussing or yelling at somebody. So we need to go get his guns. That's court. That's the court that they're living by, and that is completely unacceptable. I don't know about you. Someone coming up to your house to take your firearms, and it's just too serious at this point. If they have a badge on or not, for them to be taking someone's firearms when someone has not committed a crime.
Absolutely, and that's the biggest thing.
And been prosecuted for it and convicted of it.
Absolutely. That's the biggest thing about these guys and gals, because I get people who are on the channel that think that sometimes things like this aren't a bad idea. And it's the fact that you have never been, let alone convicted, you've never been charged with a crime, but they're going to strip away a constitutionally guaranteed right. I don't care where you grew up and what part of the country, that's unconstitutional and it's illegal. Yet they just don't want to talk about that part, which just brings us to this bill. I'm so glad that it's here. I covered it while I was at SHOT Show in January and tried to bring attention to it. It was pre-filed, I think it was January 20th or the 28th, but it was still early before the session started. So give us, first off, let's, as a member, I would like to see more members join. How can people join OK2A, and how can they donate to help support all the things that you're fighting against?
Well, perfect. You can go to OK2A.org. That's OK2A.org. You can just click on membership. And also, when you become a member, you'll be getting emails and other information. Just keep you updated on what's going on in Oklahoma and the advances that we have made, and what we're going to make, because we've got plans to, like I said, we want all of our rights back, not just the selective. We want to get rid of the no gun zones, as many as possible, to make sure that, you don't have to ask government for permission. You're a responsible citizen. You go live your life. And so that's basically what we're doing. But like I said, OK2A.org. And I really appreciate, Jared, you're a pretty good member. We've noticed your membership. Yes, sir.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Anything I can do to help you guys, I told you to get a hold of me. All right. So let me thank a couple people here who are chipping in. This is awesome. Christian Vizcara loves the channel. Thank you, Christian. I hope I'm not destroying your last name. You guys and gals, you're the lifeblood here. Thank you. Freaking Rican. Way to go. That's an awesome name. Thank you. Crypto Pirate 1776 says, greetings from Northeast Oklahoma, pushing my local rep 24/7, and I know we have his support. That is awesome. And wow, thank you. Vanish 747, thank you so much. Watching closely from Hawaii, who is another state that is under the gun nonstop. It's getting crazy there. Not to mention lockdowns, and you can go to the sand, but you can't walk on the dry sand, only the wet sand. Joe Freedom, thank you so much, Joe. And Joe Fino, thank you, guys and gals. Thank you. This is like, I'm speechless. Thank you. Carport Carl, thank you all so much. All right, so talk to us a little bit about.
That's what we like. There you go. That's a good point, because people don't realize how much it takes money to maintain liberty, because freedom is not free. To keep you involved in this, to keep me engaged in this, so we can keep an eye on, so we don't have not just Democrats but Republicans stripping us of our rights and not reaffirming our rights and returning our rights. So people say, I hate sounding like a Sunday morning plastic TV preacher, but it takes money to protect this, because Bloomberg has used his money to do what he's done. And correct me, is there 15 states that have red flag laws?
It's 14 states plus the District of Columbia.
Okay, so there's 14 states. So this is the first one to set back the other direction. I hope all of you other states look at this and say, you know what, we need to be more like Oklahoma and less like these other states, because we've got to draw a line in the sand and say, this is where you're not crossing anymore. We're going to hold that. So be that as it may. I'm sorry, what was your question?
No problem. Thank you. So give everybody a quick little rundown of how the bill has progressed. Um, I do know, I remember following it close. It was in March, the Senate voted for it, and then last week the House voted for it. So give us a little bit of a history of the bill and how or what you at OK2A had to do to get it to where it is, and how did you get any pushback from the Democrats in the state, and if so, how loud were they, and have you seen little Mike Bloomberg? Because if you guys and gals don't know, he literally has funded every red flag bill in every single state, whether it was him personally or his two crony groups, Moms Demand Action or Everytown for Gun Safety. But he is the reason this is here. So if you could give everybody a little bit of history there, I'd appreciate it.
Well, it came out, it was placed in a Judiciary Committee, which is always favorable. The State Senator Julie Daniels is the committee chair, and I call her the Iron Lady of the Senate. She's awesome. And Senator Dom got it pushed out of there. There were a couple of Democrats that voted against it. Shouldn't surprise you. When it got to the floor, there was, I think, 33 votes for it, including one of the Democrats, who is Senator J.J. Dossett, who is military. I mean, he's Second Amendment supporter. And like I say, I don't know about you. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. Protect my liberty. Protect our Constitution. We'll support him all day long. He's an awesome guy. Now, then that little, I don't know, maybe you didn't hear about it. Some kind of virus is going around.
Yeah, some people got sick, yeah.
Yeah, that put an interesting kink in this because it never saw a committee vote in the House. So what the House did was that they moved everything to the floor calendar. And so in the last 2 weeks, we've been pushing very hard to make sure leadership would understand just how important this bill is, because like I previously said, with all of the other financial stuff going on and all the virus stuff going on, that sucks a whole lot of air out of a state capitol, needless to say. So we managed to convince the floor leader it's that important. And he said, I agree, it's that important. Let's hear it. He put it on the floor calendar. The Democrats asked questions after questions after question. Representative Jay Stegall did a great job at answering those questions. And when it came time for debate, there was no debate. It went straight to vote. It went right on. And like I said, it was like 77-12, I think is what the vote was. And but like I say, now it's on the governor's desk. There was a miscommunication by a local Oklahoma newspaper that stated it had already been signed. And at first, to me, it seemed very likely because Governor Stitt signed constitutional carry in our state 2 hours, right, 2 hours after it passed. So I thought, man, this guy's on a roll. Maybe he wants to do this again. You know, he likes gun bills. And so that was a miscommunication somehow, because when you look at the official state website, it says signed to the Senate, and I think that they just misread it instead of signed by the governor. So I think that's just that easy of a typo that was made on that. So anyway, it set the world on fire here Monday. We're like, no, because I'm still checking everything I can find out to see, and I'm also trying to call and contact people. I don't want to bother anyone on the governor's staff, or because they got real stuff going on, but we do obviously want this thing inked. But you mentioned back Moms Demand Action. The main thing that's really hysterical about this is a state representative, Jason Lowe, who is and we have a Supreme Court action, and we'll be in the state Supreme Court next month, June the 9th, as a matter of fact, working because he's trying to get constitutional carry repealed and put on a ballot so the people can vote for it or vote it back out. And we're like, no, that doesn't work for us. And also the information they put on their ballot initiative is if you're going to repeal a constitutional right and you forget to tell people, oh, by the way, it's going to become criminal, we have a problem with that for a ballot initiative. So that's going to be what we're going to be talking about. But the funny thing about this state rep, every time Bloomberg was in town, there he was right next to him with this picture being made. And like I said, State Representative Jason Lowe. And so it won't surprise me completely that if and when the governor signs this, that they will try some legal action to stop this also. And I know the money runs all the way back to New York City with Bloomberg that's financing all of this.
Well, maybe this video can actually help to that end. If you live in Oklahoma, take 20 seconds out of your day and call Representative, what was his name? The one who's going against?
Governor Stitt.
No, I know governor, but the one who wants to have it repealed, the constitutional repeal.
Jason Lowe.
Jason. So let's get a hold of Jason Lowe, and let's let Jason Lowe remind him that he works for you. If you live in Oklahoma, he's supposed to represent you, and then you believe that it's impossible to vote out a right that is not given to you by the government. You cannot vote out the Constitution. So maybe you guys and gals should remind him of that. And I'm sure that by watching this, a lot of people will be motivated to do that.
Well, here's the second part of that. I personally haven't taken time to call him because he's in a spot where he can't be touched, just like Bloomberg in New York City. I mean, he's surrounded by liberals. So I haven't even called our people to do such a thing because, in fact, I don't think it's going to make any difference. I would rather focus on, hey, governor. I'd rather people call the governor. It's a good bill. Let's sign it. Let's do this. I'd rather focus that energy to the Governor Stitt to make sure we can give him a high five when this thing's over with and move on, because, you know, it's going to be pretty sweet. Come on. It's going to be sweet when this thing's inked. Why would we want to waste our time with someone that's just going to be a mouthpiece for liberalism anyway? And the bottom line is he can make all these court efforts and gestures he wants, but we've beat him at every punch. So, yeah.
So what is
that's just
feeling? No, that's what. So as somebody who's in the thick of things, I mean, I have my thoughts, but I'm far away from you. What is the feeling? And tell us a little bit more about the infighting that has a little bit of doubt on whether the governor will sign this, or if he's, playing pissy pants because somebody else aggravated him. Well, what is the thought of somebody who's there? Will he sign it or won't he? Do you have any inclination?
Well, he's already had, he vetoed 4 bills, and several of them have already been overridden. And so the state legislature has not sine died, which is the last day of a legislative session. They've held it off till next Friday. So if he vetoes any more, they can come in and do veto overrides then. So again, you've got a Republican House of Representatives, which is a supermajority. You've got a supermajority in the Senate, and then you have the Republican in governor. So for me as a conservative, thank you. For me as a conservative, it's really aggravating that if you're going to have problems, discuss them, get it knocked out behind closed doors so you don't have this stuff going on out in the front with everyone else. Let's be unified. And especially in time when you're in a state of emergency, I think it's even all the more important to do so. So you've got this infighting between leadership in the Senate mostly and the House a little bit, that it's just not necessary. I hope they don't let it affect a constitutional right that we're talking about here. The governor is a very class guy. And like I say, anyone that'll throw the ink on a constitutional carry bill 2 hours after it's voted on, I think he's going to continue to do the right thing. But like I say, 6 years ago, we had a Republican governor that vetoed 4 gun bills in her election year. So I kind of got a little flashback there. Like, let's don't go that way. Governor Stitt, let's move forward with this.
So has there been any word leaked how they leak out information from the corner office? Does he have any issues with the bill? Are there any concerns that he's specifically worried about?
There's so much traffic going on with legislation, it's difficult to find a specific about that. However, I have talked to 2 people that are pretty close to the governor, and there didn't seem to be any heartburn. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
So I don't want to lead on anyone. I've been through this. Like, why on earth would you veto, bills that no one was complaining about or anything? So this is going to be interesting. I'm sure Moms Demand Action has got the phones ringing like crazy, and I actually have Governor Stitt's phone number. Can you read that?
Not only will I read it, I'm going to put it on the screen in a banner.
How's that?
2 seconds.
There you go.
405-521 2342. Governor Stitt. Good, because I was actually looking for that while I'm writing here. Bingo. So, ladies and gentlemen, on the screen right now is the phone number to the governor's office. If you live in Oklahoma, he's not going to listen to anybody from Massachusetts, believe me, otherwise I'd call him right now. If you live in Oklahoma, call him and let him know that you supported how he supported you come constitutional carry, and you fully support him in doing this, and you expect him to sign this anti-red flag act into law. Go ahead.
Jared, I'm disappointed in you. I figured a Massachusetts guy could pull off an Oklahoma accent and could make that call to the governor's office. You guys are pretty smart up there. I figured you could probably do that.
Well, if I take we take R's off of every word, like ka. So if I add extra R's, I'll sound like I'm an Okie, like Warsh McCore. But we'll definitely drive some traffic to them, believe me.
Appreciate
that's
that.
one good thing about the viewers of my channel is they are all passionate, and when we open the floodgates, they usually follow through.
And let's do this too, folks. Passion is great, but it's still got to be in control, and it's still got to be polite. Do not call up there yelling, screaming. Just make it real short to the point. Please sign the anti-red flag bill. We support it. Let's go from there, and hang the phone up. Don't try to talk them into the Constitution stuff. Just give them your support for it and get off of there. And let me tell you something. I actually have staff members come back and comment that even OK2A members are so polite that it's difficult not to listen to them. So right. We don't get this stuff advanced by screaming, especially at this point. You get it by just come on, let's just sign it. We're good to go. You're on our side. Let's go. Talk them up. So anyway, Okies, you guys know what to do. Jared, I appreciate you're working on this too. And but like I say, let's get this thing done. Let's stick the flag in the ground. Hey, let's stick the red flag in the ground right here and say you're not crossing this anymore. This is it. Absolutely. And then let's start pushing the flag back the other direction towards the Constitution.
Another good thing, if you are calling the governor's office, is I really believe that if unfortunately, the way the country is now is nobody wants to be the first, right? They'll all follow the leader, but nobody wants to step out from the crowd and be that sheepdog and be that person who says, all right, I'll do it. If Oklahoma gets this done, I have a really strong inclination that there will be other states that will follow. Right. And that is only going to be a good thing. You can see, even related to the coronavirus stuff and all the COVID shutdowns, a couple people stepped up and made some serious noise with lawsuits against governors challenging these lockdown orders and all that stuff. And it's been proven unconstitutional in 2 states. Right. So if it's unconstitutional in 2 states, then, deductive reasoning would tell you it's unconstitutional in the other 48 states. And now you see governors opening stuff up all of a sudden.
And let me show you how easy it would be. Any person that can go to the Oklahoma State Legislative website and type in Senate Bill 1081, you can download. It's only 2 pages, folks. It's only 2 pages. And that here is your template to go into your state. You rip out the words Oklahoma and you put in whatever state that you're living in, and you've got something to go with. So legislators from these states, you should be contacted. You can contact OK2A. Contact me at OK2A.org. And you go on there and do our email. You can find our email on there and send it to us. But like I say, we'll make sure you've got something to work from. Also, the legislators that did this have absolutely no problem helping you in your state get this accomplished. Also, we got some great people, folks.
Absolutely, and I put that the link to that bill is in the description a couple times. Not the description, into the comments. It's in there a couple times, and I do know that we have some elected officials from different parts of the country that watch this channel. So my hope is that they're getting the message that we're sending out there, that it's okay to be that person, to make things right. You get more respect doing the right thing than you do in just sitting by letting it happen. For instance, Massachusetts, this state is like communism now. And my local state rep and my local state senator, we got along fine for a long time. And I've always told them, just do what you're supposed to do and I'll support you. I understand that you're outnumbered 7-1, but do what you're supposed to do. And my thing is like, if you're gonna make it out, go down swinging. Don't go down looking. go down swinging. If if you're facing a better team, I get it. If you're outnumbered, I get it. But do what I elected you. You got my vote. Do what you're supposed to do.
Right.
And you don't see that all too often anymore. I'm hoping that Oklahoma stays the way it is, and with the supermajority you have, if he does veto it, we have another way to get this on. I hope.
Well, let me correct, but I don't. I just rather work from the aspect that he's going to sign it and we're good.
Yeah, obviously
for me. For me, but also let me back up a little bit. Why Oklahoma is so strong is right now is election season, and we are conducting surveys with candidates and also incumbents. We're doing endorsements, and we're reminding the people who has protected your rights and who has not protected your rights. And this has been crucial. In fact, this year we've gone down. We're even doing the sheriff's level. We're making sure that they support constitutional carry. Will they try to conduct a red flag laws? Will they support them? And we've got a list of questions, and we're going to expand those questions to sheriffs, because the sheriff actually he's got more power than the governor. And so you got to get someone in there that's going to protect your rights. And we've learned the stronger the sheriff you've got, the county itself seems to have more tranquility, which I believe is in our founding documents.
Yeah, it's too bad more people don't understand that, huh? You got a lot of people from around the country, a lot of people checking in from Oklahoma. So when you watch the feedback, you'll see some comments that I'm throwing up, including one from my cousin Gary. Hey Gary, even though it says Gary, it's my cousin Adam. He likes to play tricks. So we're getting through. We're getting through to people who usually wouldn't follow this stuff. So keep doing what you're doing. As a member, I am very proud of what you're doing. And again, please tell people how to join. You can be a member from other states. Tell them how much it is to join or to donate, sir.
Right. I mean, and I'm a member of different groups in different states also, because I see the need for the local level, the grassroots, to be involved and to keep this stuff going. But at Oklahoma Second Amendment Association, you can go to our website at OK2A.org. At OK2A.org. Also, we're on Facebook at the Oklahoma Second Amendment Association. And we also have, it's called the OK2A discussion group, where people can come in and ask questions about laws, just even some gun stuff, holster stuff, and just get some general information. And we keep it, basically, we use that as a training tool. I actually have probably several dozen families use that as their civics class for their kids' education, because we're showing what's in a bill, how you get a bill, how you get it moving, how important it is, and why it's constitutionally protected. And so they're learning more. And I have parents come back and say to me, I didn't know this, Don. I didn't know this is how this worked. So it's a great place. It's a great learning tool for a lot of people. And so, but like I say, it all starts at OK2A.org. You can find our OK2A Association at gmail.com if you just want to send me an email. And folks, we'll do what we can to work with you, to help you, because liberty can spread. Liberty can stop this virus of liberalism. And so let's get on it. Let's keep it going. And hey, I want this thing geared up for a real good 4th of July, because I consider Liberty Day along with Independence Day.
Yeah, and they tried canceling it up here. Like watching fireworks is going to make people sick for some reason. Hey, it's amazing.
Just come south and east a little, or south and west a little bit there, and we'll let you. In fact, you show up here, bring your gun. You don't have to ask anyone for permission to carry it. You're welcome.
Yeah, if we're only like that, like it's supposed to be everywhere.
I can see you drooling.
One day, my friend. One day I'll be out of this state. All right. So we told everybody about the bill. We told everybody, and there's people already chiming in and said they've already called the governor's office from this video.
Awesome.
So that is a good thing. And like Invader Zim says, liberty can spread, which is absolutely why we do this stuff. So are there any other pressing issues you would like the people of Oklahoma to know about that you're working on? You have the floor, whatever you want people to know.
Well, we're going to be in the state Supreme Court on June the 9th, because, like I say, State Representative Jason Lowe and the Moms Demand Action bunch is trying to repeal constitutional carry and put it on a ballot initiative for the November election. And it's really sad because they've said, well, and Moms Demand Action will say, well, 85% of the people don't want this. And I'm like, well, they must be taking a survey in New York City, because here in Oklahoma, like I said, it's well over 70% for it. So we have to keep an eye on these types of things. And it's groups like OK2A that has worked and led this way, because we consider ourselves the state's leading advocate for Second Amendment rights. But we're not merely a gun group. We're a liberty group. We just know it may take guns to maintain that liberty. And so it starts right here. So let's pick up and take care of things at the ballot box, so we don't ever have to pick up anything with the bullet box.
Right. Absolutely. Well, again, I thank you for everything you're doing for the people who live there.
This is where we get the word out. I appreciate. I didn't mean to walk over there, but
No,
thank you so much, because, like I say, it's good that when the head of the Gun Owners of America gives me a call saying, "Hey, I heard you're going to be on Jared tomorrow." I said, "Yep, we're going to get things going." That's right.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I just try to make everybody aware of what's actually going on, man. So thank you.
Appreciate you too.
Again, guys and gals, please. Unfortunately, it takes money to fight money, and Bloomberg has billions. So those groups that are under attack need some help. So please, if you can, give up a couple trips to your local coffee shop for the month and help defend the Second in your state or in other states, like joining OK2A. I'm a member, so help me, help them. I would appreciate it. Guys and gals, please forward this information, because the more of us that are rowing this boat in the same direction, the more powerful our group becomes. And if you are interested in the Second Amendment news and the constant onslaught we are facing, no matter what city, state, town, or federal clown is trying it, no matter where it happens, you'll find it here. So thank you so much. Please consider subscribing to Guns and Gadgets. And again, Don, thank you for your time, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you too. Appreciate it.
All right. From the secret bunker in Massachusetts, probably the only freedom place left. Thank you all for your time. Be safe, stay vigilant, and carry your weapon. Have a great afternoon.